The Shift is brought to you by Joy Metrics. Welcome to The Shift. I'm Dr. Andrea Coyle. Shifties, welcome back to the next episode of the Shift podcast. Today, I have a really special friend, Caitlin Marion, coming all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. Interesting how we met. Of course, I love to troll on LinkedIn. Yes, I'm going to actually claim that I do that. And on LinkedIn, I recognized the superstar. Caitlin, was recognized in Oklahoma as one of the top 100 nurses and was also recognized in a St. Louis magazine for her nurse excellence. And we connected on LinkedIn. The rest is history. Caitlin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Andrea. I'm really glad we get to have this time together, and I'm excited to talk to you about our discussion today.
I love it. Before we get started, just an intro, not just an intro, because you're doing a lot of great things. Quickly, just tell the shifties a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to dive into some fun questions.
Yeah, I've been a nurse for almost 11 years. I have a traditional BSN. I got my master's in nursing education, and then I finished my doctorate of nursing practice and nursing education in 2023. My main population focus is pediatrics and neonatal critical care areas. My first 4 years of nursing, I spent doing peds med surge, step down, all of those things, which was really fun. And then I transitioned more into academia and critical care. I've done a lot of different jobs for a lot of different places, which is so fun. It keeps my brain busy. And I focus a lot on scholarly writing, elevating the nursing profession, and connecting clinical nurses with academic opportunities.
I love it. And you and I were discussing that you didn't want to sound braggy. So I said, don't you worry, let me brag about you. And I'm so glad in the introduction, you mentioned that you have your doctorate because I did not call you Dr. Caitlin
Oh,
Marion.
please don't.
Now,
It doesn't sound like me. It is a title that you earn and it's an appropriate title, but I much prefer to be called Caitlin.
well, again, I don't want to leave that out because it's really important. It's a great achievement. It's a lot of hard work, something none of us want to do again. Again, I'm thrilled for you to be here, and I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. We've had a couple great discussions, and I love you've made some introductions. There's just fun stuff. So here's my first question, Caitlin. It seems like you've dedicated most of your career to educating and inspiring nurses through innovative ideas. What do you think sparked your passion for transforming how nurses learn and grow in their profession?
Yeah, even as a newer nurse, when I felt like I didn't know anything and that everyone knew more than I did, I was always curious about how processes worked together to deliver care. I think the hospital is so complex. There's so many ins and outs and so much nuance. Just the overall system of a hospital is really complicated. But that really helped me develop a spirit of inquiry, which is a critical part of evidence-based practice. So I hope I didn't lose any of your audience when I said the words evidence-based practice, but that is like one of my favorite things. And it's so much fun to use it in my work. So my intro to innovation in nursing actually revolved around something kind of boring. It's highly reliable technology, and everyone has it or uses it every day, barcodes. So my unit was CLABSI free for over 2 years, but we had a really bad time documenting our CHG baths. And I could not get the staff on board with putting it in the chart. Like, you gave the bath, put it in the chart. And the feedback I got was, well, I have to navigate to this weird part of daily care that we never chart in. And I just forgot. And it's not a big deal because we don't have CLABSIs. So ultimately, we were doing a really good job of doing the hard part, giving the bath, but we weren't doing the essential part, which is documenting it. So I was looking at the package one day and I knew there was a barcode on it. And I thought, I wonder what happens when I scan this barcode. So I went to the MAR and I scanned it and it pulled up an order set for a CHG bath. And I thought, well, that's easy. I could just ask a provider to order a CHG bath. It will put it in the MAR and it will remind nurses to give the bath. So through a lot of process change and some approval, we were able to make that happen. And we increased our compliance by like 500%, which was fantastic. And I was actually able to connect with one of my friends who is an adult world nurse who works in oncology, she was having a similar issue. Her and all of their patients got the bath, but they just weren't documenting them. So then she was able to take this idea to her organization and make it part of their workflow, which is what nursing is all about. And it was really exciting to see that idea kind of get legs and help us support our staff.
Okay, that's exactly why you're on the podcast and you are shifty. You shifted the mindset, you inspired action, and you empowered possibility just by asking a simple question.
Hmm.
And that's how we generate new knowledge. Oh my God, this is such a great story. My question is, have you presented or published that work?
Oh, that was actually probably one of the first things I did a million years ago. I was so nervous about it. I did present it locally at a hospital-based conference. I don't know if I ever revisited it because I eventually relocated like soon after that. But my friend took it to she and I work at the same organization now, and so her unit still uses it. And she did present that work, I believe, at a larger conference. But yeah, it is interesting how that works, and it's
Yeah.
so easy. You can make a barcode and put it on anything and scan it and document it in real time. So it's an idea that you can apply to lots of different problems.
Well, I love that you're sharing with the shifties because I guarantee someone right now is taking notes and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take this back to my shared governance. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh, I'm going to implement this. I love this is, oh my God, I'm so thrilled. And this is my dream of creating this particular medium or platform
Mhm.
to improve nursing care delivery and
Yeah.
just empower possibility.
Well,
I
I'm a
love
millennial, so I have to be on a podcast. That's like a requirement, or I have to make one. So this is helpful for me too. And
it.
I love sharing ideas. That's part of being a nurse is especially any of my med surge nurses out there, you learn tricks, right? You learn
Yeah,
tricks.
that's
Jill of all
me.
trades, jack of all trades, you learn a trick. And there's so many things, so many devices you can use to do different things. And you learn by sharing. So it's a great opportunity.
And you teed me up for the next question, sharing ideas, which is awesome,
Mhm.
adopting best practice.
Yeah.
Clearly, network is something that you value. So, in your experience, how can meaningful connections within the nursing community open doors for collaboration, mentorship, and professional growth?
Believe it or not, I am an introvert and I turn it on when I'm at work. But networking for me was not always easy. I'm thinking back to that poster I did on CHG baths, and I was such a wallflower. I was like suction cup to my poster and staring at my shoes and hoping no one would ask me anything, which is like the opposite of what you want at a conference. You want people to come talk to you, but I was like, no, don't look at me. Just read my poster and walk away. Like I was just so nervous. So it's definitely a skill I've had to practice, and it usually involves pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And whenever I'm going to a conference or an event, I will go up to people I see. I try to sit at tables with other people I haven't met before. And I ask my colleagues or these stranger friends that I've just made, uh, two questions. After we get to know each other a little bit, I say, what work are you most proud of right now? And what is one thing about your unit that you wish you could change? And I like those questions. They're easy for me to remember when I'm nervous. And the first question always makes people smile because they're reminded of a really good project or a nurse that they work with that inspires them or something really cool that's going on that they want to tell you about. And that's how I've met some really amazing colleagues and coworkers. And one of them I introduced to you named Denny.
Yes.
That's my favorite work right now, my ramen noodle burn prevention. That's kind of how Denny and I came to know each other was someone said, "Do you know Denny?" And I said, I don't. Who is that?" And they said, "Oh my gosh, Denny, trauma, ramen noodles, eliminating burns." And I'm like, what is that? I don't know what's going on. I met with Denny and she was telling me about some of the basic questions she asked about why am I seeing all of these scald burns from ramen noodles and why is it happening specifically with ramen noodles? Well, we microwave ramen noodles and the way that water heats in a microwave is different than on a stove. So water is oftentimes overheated, and then kids will accidentally scald themselves. So through her inquiry, she made critical connections. She was able to take what she knew and educated the community, significantly reducing third-degree burns in Oklahoma. So that's just one example that I've had by asking some basic questions, and it's so exciting that you never know who you're going to find and what they're working on. And if you don't ask those questions, you'll never know. So everyone's just waiting to tell you something they're working on that's really exciting to them. You just kind of have to find it.
I have to ask, and I am a self-proclaimed master asker. I love to ask questions and it drives my kids crazy. Some people feel challenged by it, and I always say that's not my intent. I'm not asking
Mhm.
questions because I'm trying to challenge. I'm asking questions because I'm genuinely interested,
Yeah,
truly. Um,
that was something that I'm still learning. I've moved around a lot because of my life circumstances. But once people get to know me, they understand when I'm asking a question, it's because I'm actually curious. I'm not challenging your authority. I'm not challenging your expertise. And because of the roles that I've had, half the time I'm in a nursing area where I don't have relevant experience, which is kind of fun for me because I'm coming in and I get to learn, which I love. It's uncomfortable, but it's still kind of fun. So whenever I'm asking a question, I always preface by saying, I'm just asking because I don't understand. And for my brain to work, I need to ask more questions. So if you're wondering why I'm asking, that's it. I trust this team. I'm just trying to understand more because my brain needs that information. Now people are very used to me asking questions, and then they'll be like, "Okay, Caitlin, that's enough questions. We actually have to have this meeting now." Like, but
Now, I totally relate to that, Caitlin, 100%.
yeah.
It's awesome. Um, and you did introduce me to Denny, and she's fabulous. So thank you for the intro. One of the most powerful things that a leader can do is really shine a light on other people.
Hmm.
And why do you believe it's so important to amplify the voices and accomplishments of fellow nurses? I don't know why I said the voices. That came out weird, but what do you think?
Well, I am I'm a Virgo and a middle child, which tells you pretty much all you need to know about my personality. Like, I am so scared of having the spotlight. I'm scared of being proud of the work that I do. I don't want to take away from someone else. And I don't want to feel like my success is someone else's non-success. And so many nurses share that sentiment because most nurses can give compassion and care for others really freely. That comes very naturally, and that's how I am in my nursing practice. I do compassion and care first, and that's why I felt called to nursing. But if you're a nurse with these kinds of traits, what likely comes less naturally is articulating your impact on patients or your success or bragging about yourself. And sharing all of that may feel like you're bragging or you're being self-righteous or you're self-involved. And that does not feel good. Like as a nurse, I want to be appropriate and professional and noble. And I don't, sometimes those things don't agree. And I've struggled with that balance for a long time. And sometimes you feel like you need to dim your excitement or your light because it doesn't fit into the typical mold of what a nurse is thought of. But when we do that, when we dim ourselves, we're not doing anything for anybody. We're failing our profession, we're failing our patients because we're not excited about the work that we're doing and sharing with other people. So, disseminating work is the last step of the evidence-based practice process. And we should take pride in our work and share it with others. And it not only provides the blueprint for everyone else to replicate the work, but it shows other people that they're capable and that their ideas have value. I've worked with so many nurses who have these ideas and they don't know what to do with them. They want to share them, they just don't know how. And I feel so honored to be part of that process because we're elevating their voices and we're giving them a platform to share what they know so other nurses can learn from their successes, or even if it's not a successful endeavor, they can identify what not to do. And that's still just as valuable.
No, that's really good stuff. At the end of the podcast, I typically ask shifties a couple of nuggets. So my question is, For nurses who want to innovate, build strong networks, and uplift others, but aren't sure where to start, what advice would you give them about taking the first step?
I recommend that you find multiple mentors to refine your practice. Nursing is very multifaceted, and so is professional development. I found that the most impactful leaders and peers that I've had the pleasure of working with all have very different strengths. So, my personal mentor for my professional practice is a clinical nurse specialist. My personal mentor for leadership is a systems level leader. And my mentor for my academic journey is a faculty member. So all of those mentors offer me something different that I can grow from. And I'm getting the best part of that mentorship experience from those people, which is super helpful for me. And I think some people are uncomfortable asking for mentorship, but don't be. It doesn't have to be a super formal experience. It's just someone that you can trust and ask questions and be vulnerable with, um, and make sure that like they'll give you the feedback you're asking for. I've gone to my leadership mentor and say, I don't know if I did this wrong, but I think I'm failing my team. Like, tell me honestly how I could have done this differently. And she gives me feedback. So that's one way to start. I think also um, connecting with people in person is important. And whenever you see someone out in the wild, as I say, at a conference, getting their information, following up with them on LinkedIn, and not being afraid to ask them questions later. That's how I've made some of my permanent connections is I've met people at a conference, I get their email, I email them afterward, and then I might be in a meeting and someone asks a question and I think, you know what? I know someone in Colorado who could help us with that. I know someone in Philadelphia. I know someone in California. I can email all of those people, and most people are very responsive and happy to provide feedback and assistance when they can.
That's another really good answer. Oh my gosh. You have really, man, I mean, you've knocked it out of the park. It's like the triple threat. You've given so much. I don't want to say advice because sometimes advice
Hmm.
sounds a little, I don't know. You've given a lot of great ideas and input and thought for the listeners to think about. So I
Hmm.
really want to thank you. It's interesting. I can 100% relate to what you're saying about being an introvert. I'm an
Hmm.
introvert. People would never guess it, just like I wouldn't guess you are.
Right.
After these like interactions, I'm exhausted.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have plans to go home and look at my house plants later.
Exactly.
I'm going to recharge by listening to an audiobook and looking at my house plants.
I 100% can relate to that. You know what, Caitlin, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to all your great successes. I look forward to you and I continuing to collaborate. And I say this at the end of every podcast, shifties, remember, your shift makes the difference. Keep shifting. Enjoying the shift? Help us reach more nurse leaders by rating and reviewing us on your podcast app. It takes just a minute, but makes a big impact. Search for The Shift, tap those stars, and share what you love. Your feedback shapes our future episodes and helps others discover us. Remember, rate, review, and amplify The Shift today.